Morning, everyone. So today we are going to start about the objectives of teaching English. And in English, teaching objectives are very important before starting the class. So a teacher just prepare many objectives and many points before starting their teaching. Before starting their teaching, they are he or she is like he or she is very must prepare their objectives. They are teaching some teaching methods, so they can so they can conduct the method properly. This is the very important part. First of all, content like language objective. Here we are talking about the language objectives here. So first of all, example of a content objective you are currently teaching. First of all, currently teaching objectives are very important. Currently, what you are preparing, what you are giving and delivering. So example of a content objective you are currently teaching. What are language objectives? How do you use them in your class? Why are they important? These are very important. Why are they important? Why it is so important for the class, for student? How do you use them in your class? How do you use them in your class? And what are language objectives and currently teaching methods? So first of all, language objectives are often problematic for content teachers because it may be difficult to identify language objectives. May be difficult. Content teachers do not have limit to teach language. Teaching language is the ELT teacher's job, and content teachers may not know enough about the students' language proficiency to determine appropriate language objectives. So, reading, writing, speaking, and listening. As we know that this is the sequence: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. This is the sequence of language. So, first of all, this sequence is very important. So, readings, text, vocabulary list, notes from overhead, writing, vocabulary list, and notes, answers to comprehension questions, logs and predictions, sharing writing and speaking. Reading. Reading means text, your vocabulary part, text part, novel, and themes, and different notes from overhead you are reading, and writing vocabulary, writing vocabulary list and notes, answers to comprehension questions, logs, predictions, sharing writings, speaking. In speaking, answering questions, discussion, and with a partner or group members, predicting, and this will happen in a safe, low risk environment, and listening to the teacher, to student, to tapes, and when playing a video, turn the subtitles on. This is the very important. Just turn the subtitles on. So, functions of language. The English language is vast and complicated. This is not actually easy, this is vast and complicated. What functions of language should content teachers focus on the ELT students? So, basic foundation of language and subject verb agreement, and this is very important subject verb agreement, the progar, and so many things we can see that use the obvious, possessive, and third person singular, and tense, present, past, future, basic verbs to be, to have, to like, to see. I have, you have, he has, she has, we have, they have, I, you, we, they had, I will have. So, we have to focus on the first person, second person, and third. This is very important. First, your first person, your second person, and your third person. Then after in vocabulary building, basic language, basic language, technical language, word wall and word bank and punctuation, retelling, explaining. So basic functions of language for language very important, and that it sounds and their pronunciation, complete sentences, hold students accountable for basic sentence and basic sentences, word order. This is very important. If we are taking class of language and teaching methods in English in language, so we have to focus on the letter sounds, pronunciation, and complete sentences. Hold students accountable for basic sentences structure, basic sentences, word power, word order. And then after where to begin when thinking about language objectives, and determine key vocabulary, concept, words and other words, and consider language functions, and define, desire, describe, and compare, explain, and summarize it. Then, after where to begin when thinking about language objectives, so clear expectations, decide on language skills, and read for main idea, listen and give an option and opinion, identify grammar or language structures, verb tenses, sentence structure, and punctuation, question formation. Then, after where to begin when thinking about language objectives, and consider language and task, explore language learning strategies and prediction. Then, after writing language objective, this is very important. Writing language objective. So, first of all, define it and describe and identify, label, name, spell, compare. So, good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to start about the commercial correspondent in English in language writing timer. So we can say that in commercial correspondence in language is very important part, and business correspondence means the exchange of information in a written format for the process of business activity. As we know that if we are talking and discussing about the business correspondence, and correspondence means here we are talking about the formats of writing. So business correspondence means the exchange of information in a written format for the for the process for the process of business activities, and correspondence can take place between organizations and within the organizations, or between the customers and the organization. So we can say that importance of business correspondence help in maintaining proper relationship in expensive and convenient mode, and create and maintain goodwill, and serves as evidences help in expansion of business. So, relationship and maintaining a proper relationship is very important and we are just maintaining good relationship with others, good relationship with others. And this is very convenient and very proper method, we can say that. And this is not so much expensive. And here we are just convinced, we are just convenient mode of correspondence, and create and maintain goodwill. And we are just we are using goodwill and creating good maintain and goodwill of others, and serves as evidences also, serves as evidence also we are using to help in expansion of business. So business letters, world of business is replete with various types of written communication. And the written communication is part of everyday's business. That one cannot think of a business and without related correspondence. And business letters are also called commercial letters, and letters form the most important form of business correspondence. And letters are essential as organization has to keep in touch with the world outside, that is suppliers, customers. you know um, this is the most important part of business and also correspondence. And here we are just discussing various types of written communication. And written communication is part of everyday's business, that one cannot think of a business without related correspondence. And business letters are also called commercial letters, and letters form the most important form of business correspondence. Letters are essential as organization has to keep in touch with the world outside, that is suppliers, customers. So this is the most important part of the business and various written communication. And we are just we are just discussing everyday's business, that one can not think of a business without related correspondence. So business letters are also called commercial letters, and letters form the most important form of business correspondence. And letters are essential as organization has to keep in touch with the world outside, that is suppliers, has to keep in touch with the world and outside, that is suppliers. So different types of business letters, like sites and modern business. Business correspondence, classifies business letters as follows. Information letters, and routine letters, inquiries, quotation orders, payment letters, special purpose letters, sales letters, and problem letters, complaints, and goodwill letters, and greetings. And that's it is the widely accepted classification of commercial letters. So different types of business letters, business commercial letters can also be classified on the basic of approach, select all good news letters, offers of appointment, inquiries, orders, promotions, intimation, indirect all bad news letters like adjustment, refusals, request refusals, and rejecting a job applicant at, and persuasive offers of sales and service job, and applications that have been regarded as similar sales letters fall in the category of persuasive letters. So letters can also be classified as official letters are written to government or semi-government departments, official offices. So semi-official letters are essentially official in purpose but addressed to an official by name and not just sent to him by designation, sent to guard the confidential nature of the matter concerned from letters, correspondence of routine nature, acknowledgement, reminders, interviews, notice, and appointment. Internal letters or memos are used in government offices as well as business organization. So letters can easily be classified on the basis and the subject inquiries, credit information, and collection of dues, complaint, sales, promotion, sales circulars, appointment of personal agencies. Letters can also be classified on the basis of the correspondence of different department of an organization and personal department of an organization, invitees, applications, calls, candidates for return test interviews and science letters, offers, appointment letters, gives charge sheet and purchase department sends request for quotations, invites, standards, places orders, and sends letters. So essentials of commercial letters, clarity, impact, relevant information, simplicity. So impact, relevance, simplicity, appeal, style, vocabulary, language, timelines, and belief. So clarity is also a very important thing. Clarity. So the underlying message should be expressed in clear terms. The purpose of letter is to inform, guide, and emphasizes, remind, announce the clarity, and should clearly be stated an impact behind every letter. There is an objective and intended impact which must be left. Letter writer should write keeping in view the skill, knowledge, status, and comprehension ability of the address and desired impact happens when it ensure purpose, orientation, and lays the right desired impact happen when it ensure purpose orientation leads right in precise. So relevant information principle of communication referred here is the adequacy or completeness or facts and details and which the receiver. So relevant information is also a very important part. So principle of communication referred here is advocacy or completeness. So all relevant information is also very important. Principle of communication referred to here is adequacy or completeness. All facts and details which the receiver needs to know in order to respond or act on the basis of it. Brief brevity is a very important attribute of any commercial lecture. Receiver does not have unlimited time for reading and reading, and simplicity avoid complex sentence technical jargon by sound. So, so letter should be written and dispatched on time. Some messages carry a sense or urgency and sense or urgency communication from the controlling office to branch. So letter should be written and dispatched on time. Some messages carry a sense of urgency. So communication from a controlling, offices to a branch stating and please stand as the, statement without fail by 30th September 2020 on 2nd October. Language necessary to ensure that the language used is appropriate. That is the language with which the reader is at ease and grammatical errors and spelling mistakes have no place in a good business letters and for the language to be effective and important like evident vocabulary or the verb power. Most of the set of the words depend on context, tone, and gravity of the message, and also relationship with persons to whom it is addressed, and should go beyond message it conveys, making overall good impression. A letter is appealing when it shows consideration, that is so most of the set of the words depend on context, tone, gravity of the message, also relationship with person to whom it is addressed appeal and should go beyond message conveys making overall good impression. A letter is appealing when it shows consideration, that is thoughtfulness, style, manner of writing which constitutes the collective and quality of paper, color of the paper. It is better to use different colors for different types of letters, size of the paper, standard size, and the paper input sheet, and should be used while writing business lectures, holding that of letters. Care should be taken to give the minimum codes to the letters so that it will fit the size of the envelope, and the business firms use the different types of envelopes, ordinary envelopes and and window envelope laminated envelope extra and having date, reference, inside address, subject, salutation, body of the letter, complimentary clothes, nature and ruler, and copy circulation, postscript, and heading contains the name and postal address of the business, email address, website address, telephone number, fax number, trademark or logo of the business. Date, the date is normally written on the right hand side corner after the heading as the month and years. Reference indicates that the number and department from where the letter is being sent and year. It has in future reference is normally given on the left hand corner after the heading, and inside address includes name and full address of the person or the firm to whom the letter is to be sent. On the left hand side of the sheet below the reference number, letter should be addressed to the responsible and secretary, principal, manager, and chief manager, State Bank of India, and University Campus, Nagpur, and Maharashtra. Subject to the statement in brief that indicates the matter to which the letter relates to attracting and and the receiver immediately subject query about Samsung television, subject to order and citation. This is placed below the side address and it is followed by comma, and various forms of salutation are and for official and formal correspondence. Body of the letter, this comes after salutation and it is part of the letter which contain the actual message of the sender. It is divided into three parts. Opening part, introductory part of the letter. Attention of the reader should be drawn to the previous correspondence, if any, in reference to your letter and the and detailed, and I would like to draw your attention towards the brand of the letter. Comes after citation and part of it, which contains the actual message of the sentence divided into three parts. Opening part, introductory part of the letter, attention of the reader should be drawn to the previous correspondence, if any, and with reference to your letter towards the brand of television in part. This part usually contain the subject matter of the letter. It should be precise and written, clear words, and concluding part statement of the offender's intention, hopes, or expectations concerning the next step to be taken. Complimentary clause. It is merely a polite way of ending a letter. It must be in accordance with the salutation signature. It is written in ink. It to the complimentary clause name of the writer and should be typed and immediately below the nature citation, complimentary clause, dear sir, dear madam, dear sir, faithfully dear, and Mr. Raj, yours sincerely, my far yours very sincerely. So parts of this is letters, and closer this is required when document like check, draft, and bills and receipts, raised invoices, and are attached with the letter. These enclosures are listed one by one is in serial numbers, samples, and list of receipts, chat to copy circulations. This is required when copies of the letter are also sent to persons and a part of the addressee is denoted as the chairman, electric supply corporation, and director, electricity supply corporation, and the secretary, electric supply corporation. Types of business letters being the inquiry letter, quotation letter, order letter, complaint letter, recovery letter. So business inquiry letter. Sometimes prospective buyers want to know the details of the goods which they want to buy, like quality, quantity, price, mode of delivery, and payment, and points to be kept in mind while writing letters of inquiry should clearly state the information required, which may be asking for a price list or a sample, right? Especially about the design, size, and quantity, quality, about the product or service in which the buyer is interested, and quotation, after receiving the letter of inquiry from a prospective buyer, seller supply relevant information by writing a letter called quotation letter. Letters are written keeping in view the information asked for, like price list, mode of payment, discount to be allowed, and businessman should reply to the inquiries carefully and promptly. So, in order, prospective buyer, after receiving the reply to his inquiry letter, may decide to place on order with that business house which offers goods at minimum price and at favorable terms and conditions, and letters written by a buyer to the seller and giving the order to purchase the goods is called order letter. And if we talk about the communication, company letter to return when purchaser does not find goods to his satisfaction, normally returned by purchaser when he receives wrong, defective, damaged, and the goods or receives incorrect and quantity points to be considered while writing a complaint letter should be written immediately. So after receiving the defective goods, mistakes as well as difficulty due to mistake should be mentioned. Proposal to correct mistakes should be made. So So recovery letter, letter written by the seller for collection of money for the goods supplied. The buyer is called recovery. Aim of letter is to collect money without knowing the customer's letter should include information regarding the amount of the argument for payment and last date for payment. So you want to buy a book from the Kalka publication, which is situated at Kanchan Bazaar, Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh. So it's the price to write a letter indicating your requirement. So this is class exercise. Supply. Suppose you are the owner of a shop that sells, sales, selling, and you received an inquiry letter from so hotels and a not placed inquiry seeking information about the price and availability of fans and write a letter in response to the inquiry and made by and Akash hotels. So major components of a business meeting are notice of meeting, agenda of meeting, minutes of the meetings, and this is all about the correspondence we have discussed and types and different types of business letters. So now we are just And we have covered, points of, business correspondence letter, and we have discussed, all points regarding to, business correspondence. And business correspondence, we have discussed means the changes, exchange of information, ideas in written format for the process of various, types and various activities in business letters. So business correspondence can take place between organizations and within organizations or between customers and the organization. So importance of business correspondence help in maintaining proper relationship in expensive and and convenient mode, and create and maintain goodwill, and serves as evidence, help in expansion of business, and world of business is replete with various types of written communication. Written communication is part of, everyday's business, that one cannot think of a business without related correspondence. And business letters are also called commercial letters. Letters form the most important form of business correspondence. Letters essential and letters are essential as the organization has to keep in touch with the world outside that suppliers, customers. So business commercial letters can also be classified on the basis of approach, and that all good news letters, offers of appointment, inquiries, and orders, promotions, intimation, etc. And direct, all bad news, and that and and refusals, request and refusals, and rejecting a good hint, and persuasive, and the letters can also classify different formats. There are some essential, we can say that there are some essential of commercial letters, and clarity, impact, relevance, simplicity, appeal, style, vocabulary, language, timeline, and clarity is also very important, and impact, knowledge, and relevant information. So principle of communication referred here is, and completeness, or fact that and ways which our receiver needs to know in order to respond or act on the basis of it. And brief and brevity is a very important attribute for any commercial letter. The receiver does not have unlimited time for regarding and for reading and rereading. Simplicity, avoid complex sentences, technical and high sounding. And then after we can say that necessary to ensure that the language is appropriate, that the language with which the reader is at ease, and grammatical errors and spelling mistakes, which have no place in good business matters, and vocabulary or word power also very important in writing, and for the language to be effective, important, and most of the set of the words depend on context, tone, gravity of the, message, and also relationship with person to whom it is addressed. Thank you so so much.